I've been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and really, I want to talk about it. It's a Ubisoft game, and I've been very critical of Ubisoft in the past. And when this was announced, I thought it looked pretty terrible, and then they delayed it, and I was like, I'm definitely not picking this up. But there's nothing else to play right now. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to, for science, give this a go. And I'm going to see whether this game is as bad as people are making out. And, I've been pleasantly surprised, and you might be too. For full disclosure, I'm, around 10 plus hours into the game now. This is by no means a full review, but it is my thoughts on a lot of the mechanics. And, if you're on the fence about this game, or you feel similarly, then this video is for you, and I want to hear what you think of it down below. As I said, I've been very critical of Ubisoft in the past, and I still am, and, I don't think they're doing great things. They're not setting the gaming world on fire with their games because, they just churn them out. But I would say that Shadows is a good step in the right direction, and I'm going to tell you a little bit why. So firstly, it's kind of a blend of Valhalla and Mirage, in the sense that it feels focused. It's an open world, there's things to do, and it shares Valhalla's kind of exploration, where it wants you to, not everything's on the map, it wants you to stumble across quests as you go. But it feels like Mirage in that it feels like it, I wasn't a fan of Mirage, but the way it was kind of focused, where it didn't have so many side quests, that's kind of where Shadow sits. It's bigger than Mirage, and it has more to do than Mirage, but it's not Valhalla. It was like every 3 steps there was another icon popping up on your minimap, and some guy come running out of the woods saying, "Help me!" And it doesn't feel as overwhelming as that. It's got a good balance of quests and things like that. The next plus point here, where I was really surprised, was the setting. Now, yes, I think it's been overdone lately with Ghost of Tsushima, Neo, and all these games that are set in medieval Japan and have samurai in them. But for a Ubisoft game, it does feel authentic. It feels very, the setting is good. The story, we'll get into that. But the setting is good, and it's an interesting place to explore and a time to explore. The way the Eagle Lookout towers work this time is that you just climb them, and they work as a fast travel point. You don't have to rely on them to open up all parts of the map. You have scouts that you send out. It will give you clues. A quest will be like, this person is west of this town and south of here, and he's looking for this. And so you kind of look on the map and you send your scouts out, and then they can pinpoint where to go, or you can just kind of go yourself and find out where to go. So it plays very interestingly. A lot of people didn't like Yasuke and the whole thing behind that. And, what I will say this far in is that I haven't seen a whole lot of him. I don't think he's it's more focused on Naoe and her story, and I'm sure he'll pop in and have a bigger role later. But it really isn't. It's not as boring and cheesy as you think. The cutscenes have this very Quentin Tarantino-esque vibe. This kind of Magnificent Seven. It has Wild West music. It kind of doesn't take itself too seriously, and it very much is supposed to be a stylized Kill Bill version of Japan, right? Where you're hunting down this ring of people, and it's very, in that respect, it's very much Assassin's Creed. But this kind of new style where it's not too serious, it's a lot more Odyssey than Valhalla, if you see what I mean. And that's a good thing. Now, it's still an Assassin's Creed game. It's, if you've always hated them, you're not going to like this one. I've become bored of them. I haven't become bored of this game yet. So there's something to be said for that. I think they're definitely pushing in a good direction. The story is very slow. People have said it's not well written. I'm not going to dispute that, because I think it's kind of subjective. It's not going to light your world on fire, but it's okay for me. And I think that's kind of the vibe from that you can take away from Assassin's Creed Shadows, and kind of what I'm saying here is that it's okay, right? It's not terrible. I've seen videos of like what look like AI shopkeepers having very terrible voice lines. I have not come across that. And that's what I would say about this game is that if you're really interested, watch a review or a stream, or even just play it yourself. Don't look at the memes, because the memes are like, when you watch like the Dunky videos or whatever that dunk on the game, I'm sure there are instances, I'm sure they're not fabricating these things, but it's like these are the exception and not the rule. You're not going to walk down the street and not everyone's going to be voiced by AI or whatever. And as I said, I've not even come across terrible voice acting yet. So I don't know where these kind of clips come from. But is it an amazing game? No, it is not. Like, you're not going to think this is worthy of all kinds of awards. But it does move Assassin's Creed forward. I don't know if it's enough to save Ubisoft, but it does move it. Like, it's interesting. It doesn't feel bloated. It feels sleek. It's got a cool style, as I mentioned. And it does try to do some new stuff. You still have the RPG inventory, the RPG skill tree and inventory management and all of that stuff, and this time it kind of feels even more cool because you're a ninja when you're playing as Naue, and like all the shinobi stuff, and you can kind of assassinate people through the paper doors and things like that, and it is cool. But it does end up feeling a lot more like you don't have to be an assassin if you don't want to. You can just fight people head on, which is something the other games have steered away from. And yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows really is not as bad as it's made out to be. And I'd say it's worth giving a go. I'm not a huge Assassin's Creed fan, and I'm definitely not a huge Ubisoft fan. So make of that what you will. But that's how I've found my time with the game so far, and I'll report back when I've completed the game or just deleted it from existence because it is terrible. But otherwise, let me know in the comments what you think about Assassin's Creed Shadows and the future of Ubisoft, and like whether you think this is a good direction or what they need to do to rekindle your love for the Assassin's Creed series.